Hey, we are still in our transformation unit and we are talking about one of the four types of transformations called rotations. And you can remember rotations turn a figure about a fixed point if you remember that there's a T in rotation and a T in turn. Examples of rotations, so you have this original world person and he has been rotated counterclockwise. And remember, we're always going to rotate counterclockwise. This will be a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. Another 90 degrees would be a 180-degree counterclockwise rotation. And another 90-degree rotation on top of that will be a total of 270-degree rotation. And those are the rotations we are going to be working with. So if the original smiley face here on A starts off looking like this, and he or it rotates completely upside down, that is a 180-degree rotation. If this heart rotates counterclockwise, this is a 270-degree rotation. And then if this original A rotates 90 degrees, it will end up here. On 2A, rotating that arrow 180 degrees, we'll have it look something like that. And a good way to do this is to get some contact paper or just some see-through paper and draw the original and then rotate it counterclockwise so you can visually see it. That helps me. This moon looking shape will face that way if it's rotated 270 degrees counterclockwise. And then we have this animal print that will maybe look something like that if it's rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. We've talked about translations, reflections. Today we're talking about rotations. And eventually we'll talk about dilations, and those are the four types of transformations. A rotation is turning a figure about a fixed point. The rules of rotations will start off looking a little bit ominous, but I'm going to teach you a trick to remember them. So the rule for a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, remember to always start with the original rule, which is just xy, is going to be negative yx, and I'll explain what that means shortly. The rule for a 180-degree counterclockwise rotation starts with the original and ends up looking like this. And the rule for a 270-degree counterclockwise, start with the original, looks like this. I'm going to teach you a little jingle to remember that. If a shape is rotated, it's always going to stay the same size and shape. So it maintains congruence. However, because it's not going to be facing the same way, it changes its orientation. Here is how you can remember the rules for rotations. And give me a minute and then I'll explain what I'm writing. So this is the original, that says original. This is going to refer to a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. This is going to refer to a 180-degree counterclockwise rotation. And this one to a 270-degree counterclockwise rotation. Normal, the first normal here, just means X and Y are in their appropriate spots. Switch means X and Y switch places. Normal means X and Y are in their original spots. And switch means that they switch places. Now, over here, I'm going to change colors. Over here, normal first, both last. Here's how that works. This normal over here means X and Y stay their sign. They do not change to the opposite sign. First, however, means that this first Y here is going to change to the opposite sign. Both means that these are both going to change to the opposite sign. And last means that that one's going to change to the opposite sign. So normal switch, normal switch, normal first, both last. Normal, XY, switch, YX. Normal, XY, switch, YX. Normal, the X and the Y stay their sign. First means that this first number in the coordinate pair switches to the opposite. Both means that both numbers in the ordered pair switch to the opposite. And last means the last number in the ordered pair switches to the opposite. So let's apply that. If you take a look at 3A, this is a 180-degree counterclockwise rotation. And we know that the rule for 180 degrees, because we just wrote it up there, looks like this. So when we're looking at our original A, B, and C, to get our A prime, B prime, C prime, we are going to change the X value to the opposite and the Y value to the opposite. So I'm simply going to make -3 opposite and 1 opposite. Opposite, 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 opposite. That's how you do a 180-degree rotation. Let's do this next rotation, and this rotation is going to be a 90-degree rotation. Remember, we're rotating it counterclockwise. And the rule for a 90-degree rotation we wrote above is the X number is going to switch to the Y position, but it's not going to change its sign. However, the Y number is going to switch to the X position, but change its sign. And you can go back and check and make sure that those coordinates are correct. This rotation, since this is the original and this one is the new image, that is actually, it might appear that it's a 90-degree rotation, but it's actually 270 degrees because it would have to rotate up here first, here first, here second, here third. And so that is 270-degree rotation. And the rule, which we wrote above, for a counterclockwise rotation of 270 degrees, the Y number is going to switch, careful, this is a decimal, to the X number, but it's going to keep its sign. The X number is going to switch as well, but it's going to change to the opposite. And you can check and make sure those new coordinate points are correct. Here you don't have a picture, but you know the rule because we wrote the rules up above. The rule for a 270-degree rotation looks like that. So when you take the point A and you apply it to get A prime, the Y number switches position but keeps its sign. The X number switches its position but changes to the opposite. For a 90-degree rotation, the rule is -YX. That says -YX, which means we're going to go over here to B and we're going to apply that rule to get B prime. And the X value is going to switch over to the Y spot but keep its sign. And the Y value is going to switch to the X spot but be opposite. we did the same rule above. And if we apply that rule, our Y number is going to switch spots but keep its sign. Our X number is going to switch spots and change to the opposite. On D, we haven't done this kind yet. The rule for 180 degrees looks like that, which means the X and the Y get to stay in their same spot, but their sign changes to the opposite.